Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm going to see if I can find us here a little bit. We are finally live with you, and so happy to be with you all. Today we have April 10th. We are progressing this year, aren't we? And you're watching Cosmic Guardians. We will be live with you every week. That's our intention. And it's 10 a.m. Pacific time, 12 noon Central time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Sweden, and 8 p.m. Greece. Greece last, right? I'm Anne, coming to you live from Greece. And today I have with me my beautiful co-host, Corinne Mooney, all the way from Arizona. Corinne has been on with us before. Sorry, we had a little bit of a hiccup here before we came on, and I think it's Mercury retrograde. So I think it's very suitable because we're going to talk about those energies, right?
Absolutely, yes. Maybe not kind
And yeah, but you know, everything is energy, and there's always a way to, at least we can pep talk ourselves into, we can manage the energies, we can work with them. And sometimes, yeah, maybe it's not turning up the way we want, but we're always going to come through anyway. And we will discuss planetary energies, how to navigate. I feel that's an intriguing topic, to be honest, because we have had so many things going on lately, not to mention the solar eclipse yesterday, right?
Oh,
No,
yes.
2 days. 2 days ago.
Yes, 2 days.
2 days ago. And last week we had special guest Bob Eden with us, and we talked about his personal story and how to simplify your life. Isn't that a bliss? You can read more about Bob Eden and how to connect with him at angelplace.com/post/Bob Eden Spiritual Mechanic. Okay. So, good morning to you, Corinne, and good evening to me.
Correct. And it is a
Good day.
beautiful morning here. It's as you said, when we're in this Mercury doing its thing, it gives us an opportunity to really kind of juggle and adjust. And since I got up this morning, it's been, let's do this. No, maybe we should go there. So it does keep you active and on your feet. It really does.
Yes, and we already have someone in the chat room here, so we're going to mention her. I know it says Facebook user, but I know it's you, Bella. It's from the UK. So happy to be here with you. And it is a bliss. I think actually today we are maybe able to post comments. No, you can't. Okay. YouTube doesn't support comments on private videos. Okay, that's okay. So we mention everybody here, and we go along as we are trying to get it right? So how are you, Corinne, and how are the energies affecting you?
Well, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I have had some extreme experiences working with individuals, and we can bring that up later. But everybody is feeling it, and the ones that are not understanding that it's not something out of their control. It's amazing to show them that they have the opportunity to grow. I didn't mean that to rhyme, but it did. But it is, and I've been dealing with a lot of people that are just on the points of, what am I supposed to do? What is happening to me? And it's been an incredible journey this week, and so I'm sure everybody,
we basically have everything. We started off with full moon 25th of March. 26th of March, we had a solar flash, a big one, plus Mercury retrograde. How beautiful is that, right? And we're going to continue having the Mercury retrograde until April 18th. And we had a solar eclipse just a couple of days ago. And even if it was seen in the US, it does affect the whole entire planet, right?
It does. It really does. And most of the eclipses that I've ever been really aware of have been out of our country. So we've actually had two that have crossed over. And one in Arizona, the last one that we had, and you'll know the date better than I will. And I literally was in the backyard watching the shadows change as it did. It was an incredible experience. And I even dressed for the part today. You see, I've got the shine on. I figured if we're going to
I love your
celebrate,
dress.
well, Christmas only comes once a year, so I have to find other reasons to get the glitz on. So
Yeah, I took something ordinary. I'm blue like the sky, right?
absolutely. Now we've got it going. Yes.
We got it going. I was actually watching a little bit live when there were the eclipse. It's absolutely marvelous. It's beautiful. And
It is.
a lot of people have been talking about energies. And a lot of those conversations are going on around there is something bad with it, right? But everything is actually natural, isn't it?
It's natural, and it's renewing. It's renewing. Everything in nature has a cycle. The leaves will die in order for the new to come out. We clean our house, and as soon as we clean our house, it starts getting dirty again. But that's the cycle, and this is a time to understand that energetically we have this opportunity to let go of all the things that we've been carrying around and just thrive and come alive again. So it's a very positive, and you have the information, the scientific information that's going to allow people to see this, from a different perspective. But energetically, it's amazing. It is amazing.
It is amazing, actually. And I can give a little brief story about myself. I'm a little bit, you say tenacious, I say stubborn.
Yeah.
So, okay, this is not functioning. I'm going to go. I'm going to do it anyway. If someone else can do it, well, I can. And being very, very persistent and stubborn. And Mercury is my planet because I'm a Gemini. So, of course, I'm going to feel it.
Yes.
And before I really did understand that I could work with it instead of against it, for instance, it took me some time. But all of these energies, I mean, the cycles of the moon, the solar flash also is something that brings about transformation, new beginnings, everything of that nature, right?
Yes.
Mercury retrograde, to work with that energy, it's more like introspection, going within, planning things, and not maybe closing deals, agreements, things of that nature, if one can push it ahead. But on the other side, we're not supposed to be afraid of it because it's a natural thing. It does occur. Mercury retrograde comes about around 3-4 times a year. So there's no escape.
That's true. And it gives our entire planet an opportunity to reset, so to speak. And energetically, now that we have more comprehension of, no, it's not a bad omen. And I hear so many people talking about, oh, that's when this starts and that's when this happens, and stock market and everything else. And rather than thinking that, allow it to be a reboot and absorb that wonderful change. And as you said, moving inside, it gives you the opportunity to to look at things differently
Yeah.
and to go with the flow. Go with the
Yeah.
flow.
For instance, Mercury is excellent for going within, planning things, daydreaming, because sometimes, when we talk about, for instance, manifestation, even some action needs to be done, but sometimes that action can be daydreaming about planning, thinking, researching things, right?
Yes. And I love the way that you mentioned being mindful. Um, we get so busy moving through what we think we need to do that we forget to be mindful. Mindful when you walk, mindful when you speak to somebody, being in the moment. When you're observing something, really take the time to be with that moment. Um, when I was doing medical massage, I would teach people how to walk mindfully so they didn't fall, so they didn't run into things. And that's kind of what this is too. You know, take a breath. Don't run into the wall. Don't run into, this is happening to me. It's not. It's happening with us and within
Yes.
us. Yes.
Yes. And if everything is energy, there's always a way to work with the energy. Am I correct?
Absolutely, absolutely, and embracing it. You know,
Yes.
it's like that
So,
beautiful, beautiful dance.
yes, it is a wonderful dance. I still have some issues here, so I can't really read my show notes, but that's okay. I'm working around it. But it's like, all of these energies that have been adding up until today, um, they are showing us that we actually are standing at the doorstep. And, if we work with the energies, we can actually benefit from them, right? So we can start something fresh. It doesn't always mean that everything is going to change from 1 hour to the next, because there is no quick fix in this arena. But we are being presented with opportunities to start fresh and be bold and follow
Yes.
ourselves, right?
Yes. Um, when I was at this gathering, it happens once a month, and it's put on to allow practitioners to be available to the public. So every time that someone comes, it's a different person. And I had the opportunity to have at least between 6:30 and 9, I had 10 different people sitting in my chair. And I would open the energy with the Reiki. And then as a soul interpreter, I would be in touch with what did they want to say to themselves. And every single person that sat in that chair Friday night, it was, I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something more. I don't know what to do. It's kind of scary. And to watch these people's faces change when they heard what they were trying to say to themselves. And I mean, I had this incredible young man from, he's Italian, and the tear just started to run down his face when I was telling him that he came as a warrior. He came to move things through, and the transformation. His face just changed. It was as if a makeup artist came in and or more like a flood of love just came over him. And it is so amazing to be able to be part of a person having that kind of an awakening. And this is the time when it really is energetically giving you the opportunity to let it come to the surface. So it's beautiful. It
It
really
is
is.
beautiful. And there are no coincidences. So when we grab the opportunities we are presented with, we can actually work wonders. And we are not really taught how to be ourselves here because we're supposed to fit into a box. We're supposed to be in a certain way, right? But it's very, very important to try to find that core within yourself. And when we do, that is also when self-love comes, right?
Absolutely. I have a class where you can come and we can really, really, really get into the 4 agreements. And the 4 agreements being, be impeccable with your speech. Learning how to become your authentic self, because as you said, we're carefully taught by everyone. They give us our perception of what we should be. And that does not allow our authentic self to come forward. But by understanding that we are different from what people have said we were, and finding that, and then the freedom that comes, it's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. And the freedom that comes also give you new energy, renew that energy, one can say, right?
Yes, yes. If you allow the marvels of what is happening to really touch your soul and listen to it, it's like a refreshing stream of thought. You think clearer. You really, it's not confusing. And going with the flow, especially right now, you find different avenues that you're going on. It's like, oh, I've never driven down this street and my car is going that way. So instead of fighting it, making a U-turn, I'm just going to follow it. And then all of a sudden there is another circumstance that gives us an opportunity, like in the Celestine prophecy, to have
Yeah.
extraordinary, marvelous thing that would have not happened had we been stubborn or tenacious.
I think I froze there for a little bit, but you can still hear me, right? I don't know what's going on, but I'm just going to go with it. I joke and I said I'm going to have a word with Mercury after this.
Well, you were silent at that time, so it must have been in private.
Okay. Anyway, but now you hear me, right? Yes.
I've actually been hearing you, but I missed the joke. I missed you saying that about Mercury, but every now and then you need to kind of,
Yeah.
because as human beings on this incredible planet where we were given free will, we
Yes.
were given the opportunity to experience these things, mill them over, and then see how they work for us. So it's okay to just kind of point out, okay, guys, enough is enough, and but still be able to enjoy the show.
Yes. And I'm going to tell everybody watching us, thank you for coming on. And I see that we have some people here on. We do answer your questions. We would prefer if you can write them in capital. It's easier for us to find, even if it's not so many questions in there, but if you want to, but we answer anyway. I'm going to give mini readings if anyone want to, and Corrine, will answer spiritual questions and energy and things of that nature. She's an expert. So I'm kind of not that colorful beside you, right?
Every opportunity, right? You got to shine.
Yes. So I want to talk a little bit about astrology. I'm not an astrologer, neither are you, right?
No.
But it's the planets. And since we are talking about planets, my take on astrology is that it's a part of a roadmap for us. So we come here with certain energetic signatures. And there are other ways to express that too, right? But we come here and we can understand certain things. And I'm not talking now about reading the horoscope in the newspaper, because that's not going to be accurate. There are so many other things. And my other soul sister who left us a year ago, she was actually good at that, but I'm not that good. But we are affected, and if we can start by ourselves also to dig into certain things like planetary constellations. Sometimes when something is special, how is it going to affect me? Where do I have my sun sign? Where do I have my ascendant, etc., right? My moon, because it's going to give us great information. And the moon maybe is something easier to get to, and it's something that occurs on a more regular basis, right? I know we also had a comet passing by the Earth, and that's going to show up next time in 77 years. How about that? I like the number 77.
That's a good time for it. Yes.
Yeah. So
I'm
yes,
very
please.
I'm very fond of the moon. I'm always out there in my jacuzzi during the full moon, because being a redhead, I do not sunbathe, but I do moon bathe, and so I'm definitely, enjoying the energy of the moon, and it gives me an opportunity to, I don't know, maybe it's just I like to shine. But there is so much healing and renewing and giving you a time to really reflect, and it's a marvelous time. And even though I am not that versed in the energy that the planets have, they really do. And as you said, it's a tool you can use to guide along. All the things that I have for people, like the Four Agreements and Celestine Prophecy, they're guides. They give you an opportunity to not be bumping into walls as much, because we still bump into walls. But they're not doctrine. They're not, okay, I read this and this is all I can think about, and this, I can't move unless I do this. It's all there for us. You wouldn't
Yes.
use a hammer to try and saw a tree.
No.
You find the correct tool that's going to help. And
Yes.
So it's a marvelous thing. Yeah.
It's kind of common to do moon rituals. So you can do moon rituals for releasing, for setting new intentions. You
Yes.
can do a lot of things, right? And that's beautiful. That is a good way of using the energy to your advantage.
And it also gives us something to be active. It's something that we are actually doing. As you mentioned, writing down what you need to do, and then either burning them or putting them in water. This gives us an opportunity to feel like we've actually physically participated in it, and that's why rituals are there for us, to have an opportunity to really physically join in. Keeping that as a tool again, and not I have to, I can't function unless I do this. Then you stay in your power, and it's wonderful.
Yes. I always talk about energies when it comes to polarity. So we have one, I'm talking with my hands again, that's me kind of thing, right?
That's what they're there for.
So on one end, we have, if we hear, for instance, someone saying, oh, we're going to have a solar eclipse, that's going to be negative in this way, right? There's
Yes.
always the other side. There's always the other polarity. So if we find ourselves and catch ourselves as well thinking a little bit negative about something, we can work that energy toward the opposite side, because we label things here as human beings, right? We have labels, for instance, hot and cold, positive, negative, right?
Correct. But you know, hot and cold make nice warm water. And
Yes,
and it gives us an opportunity to have more experiences than if we just lived in neutrality. And I find that each opportunity that comes up, however people label it, I look at it like, oh, well, that's interesting. How are we going to navigate this? And whoa, this is going to be, you know, a little bit like that and so forth, rather than, oh my gosh, is coming down on me. And there again, that's where being impeccable with your speech. When you get up in the morning, you don't go, oh, this is going to be a bad hair day. Oh, this is going to be interesting. You know, maybe we'll flip it this way, or maybe we'll flip it that way, rather than telling myself that I'm going to have a bad day, or that,
exactly.
or I've got to study for this, or I'm afraid of that. When you start shifting, there again, shifting, changing your mind to think in a different way and being mindful, amazing things happen. You know, may not be exactly as it is on the script, but you know, it's more fun that way.
It is more fun, and it's basically the same when we want to manifest something. Some things we can manifest in an instant, other things take longer time, but it's very rarely actually coming out. I mean, the result in the way that we are picturing it, you know. So it's going to come, and when it doesn't come in the way I did picture it, it's going to come in a better way, much
And
better way.
very much so. I always wanted to build a healing center, and it was always a dream of mine. And I had an opportunity to have a friend, and her husband was a contractor, and I had seen some of the things he built. So I took the opportunity to write down that Rocky, his name, would build me my castle, and I'd have all new furniture and all new appliances. I forgot to change the location, you know, because where I am living is in a neighborhood, right? Well, time went by, and I'm up in the mountains meditating with my friend, and get a call that my house burned down. And so
Yeah.
I go, okay, well, this is going to be interesting. Being that I only have this to wear, I told my friend, you better get used to looking at it, because apparently that's all I'm going to be wearing for a long time. And he rebuilt my house and added, it's huge. I now have a room that I can have meditation in. 40, I can put 40 people in the great room.
Oh,
So I got what I had. The angels said, well, it's her time to have something. Well, we don't know where she wants to have this thing, so we'll just burn the thing down and start all over. So and amazingly enough, I never knew what his company name was. And you're sitting down, so I'll tell you. It's called Castle Builders.
ooh,
So yeah,
that's top 10, right?
absolutely. So yes. So I now have my healing center. It's just not maybe necessarily in the Superstition Mountains where I thought maybe that's what I wanted to be, but anyway, so yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
I have a similar story, but it's not about something burning down. Many years ago, I was the one wanting to move to Greece, and I was married by then. But my he's my ex-husband today, but we are like family.
Yes.
And he was from Greece, but he didn't. He wanted to stay in Sweden. Isn't that funny? And we came to Rhodes, and when I was very young, I said two things. First of all, I'm not ever going to marry a Greek. Second, I'm not ever going to go to Rhodes. And you don't think about how much energy you put into something when you state it like that, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes more energy than when we say we want something. We are a little bit more humble. It's not that strong energy, right? So
Yeah.
we bought a piece of land, and I wasn't picturing how we could build a house there, right? It didn't happen that way. We were building the house on a small hill, right the opposite of that. That's better. That's even better, isn't it?
Yes. But there again, energy. And I often say to my clients and my students, be careful how you say that.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, if you want something to manifest, be specific. I want to be living in this location. I want it to look like this, because the universe is just waiting for you to give them the go ahead, and seeing that it's always comes out better, but it may come about in a way that you had no idea. So
Exactly. And, I think also that many people give up on the doorstep. I've
yes,
been waiting for so long. I've been affirming, I've been doing, but we also need to take action, right? We need to assume. I love to talk about Neville Goddard, because he's the father of law of assumption, right?
yes,
So we need to really, no matter what we think is logically able to manifest for us, we need to still believe anything can come, actually, and miracles do happen all the time.
we're actually speaking on a miracle.
Yes,
This was somebody's thought. This was somebody's thought that manifested. Otherwise, we wouldn't have this communication going on. Every single thing that you touch or see that is not of nature was somebody's thought. It was born as a thought. It became as an energy. And
yes,
and it so how can you not believe that these things are, and and being mindful of it, and allowing all of these wonderful external energies that we're having, like the sun and the moon and the flares, they are almost like jump starting us, giving us the
yes,
opportunity to go, whoa, I can be more than I think I am. And stop thinking what you think you are, and just say, wow, I am possibilities just waiting to happen, rather than
yes,
I am, you know.
yeah.
So
And I think that is a part also of relearning what we have been told we are, because we're not what we have been told we are. We need to find ourselves.
exactly. And it's amazing you mentioned assumptions, because one of the four agreements is don't make assumptions.
Ah,
Because when you make an assumption, you have already bound it in what you think that it should be, or what you think that they are saying. And when you don't make assumptions, then you actually listen and you find out more about it. But if I assume that we had some problems today, and they may manifest in not working, I would have put that energy into it, and that would have been what manifested. So I didn't assume. I assumed everything was going to work out all right.
yeah,
And then but I didn't assume it. I just kind of knew it. But putting that limitation, and then also one of the four agreements is always do your best. Well, some days your best is just barely making it. The other days you're Superwoman or Superman. And just saying, okay, this is my best today. I actually was asked to give a talk on the four agreements, and in front of this prestigious ladies group. And I mean, everything was perfect. Their shoes were perfect. Their hair was perfect. Their makeup was perfect. I woke up that day with allergies so bad that there was no way any makeup could go on my face. And as a redhead, I have no face without makeup. And I showed up I was perfectly dressed, but no makeup. And to hear these women go, ah, and I said, today, ladies, this is my best.
Yeah. And you know, when we do our best, sometimes that's another thing too. I think we are making a chain of things here, but I love it because many times we are very hard on ourselves and we demand so much from ourselves, right? We
Yes.
have way more patience sometimes with other people,
Yeah.
but we put some kind of a pressure on us, right? And I
Yes.
think, yes, you're manifesting it. Bella, sorry, I'm answering. And, you know, we can and we should actually refocus all that attention, sometimes also on ourselves. So we give ourselves credit for what we do. Sometimes, maybe, like you say, not going to be Superwoman or Superman a day, but that is perfect too, because we are souls having a human experience, but we are still human while we're
Yes.
here,
Yes. Yes.
right?
And very much so. And it's having that ability to experience being human and not putting it down. Um, Old saying is, if I knew I was going to live this long, I'd taken better care of myself. You know, and that really is true. But it also gives us the opportunity to learn so many more things about ourselves. And it, it's a marvelous time to be here.
It is a marvelous time, but I can say something else on that too. Actually, you know, I'm proud of every wrinkle I have.
Oh, I
Maybe they are not
earned everything.
maybe they are not showing here because we did actually fix the video a little bit, right? We do that.
Oh, thank
but
goodness for technology.
but you know, it shows. I wouldn't like to have a face like it was ironed and I was 20 years of age, because I'm not. Because it shows that I have experience, I've lived life, I've done things, and that counts more than a million for me, right?
Exactly, exactly, and experience anything that has real value is going to look like it has been visited many times. A book that's constantly being read is going to show the wear and tear on it, and that shows how much people loved it to be able to want to experience that over and over and over. So it's all a marvelous thing, and
It is.
especially showing up at this time in the world as we're going through this metamorphosis. And sometimes I'll ask my crew. I said, uh, "I really like cozy and comfort," and they said, "Oh no, you love to come when everything is going." And I go, I got to reread that contract. So, but it's a marvelous time. And those who chose to come here at this time, we are being given this opportunity to really move it forward. And it's amazing.
It is amazing. I'm just thinking about summoning up the energies of all the planets, and then we can continue talking, right?
Yes.
Uh, so the solar eclipse, April 8th, 2 days ago, can symbolize new beginnings and personal transformation, right? It's like you're coming into the dark and then you come into the light again. It's a different thing, kind of thing, how you can perceive it, right? That's a positive way of using it. Mercury retrograde, March 26th to April 18th. That's my favorite, right? It's always smacking me. But that's okay. I laugh with it. That's linked to communication, and many times we can feel like we are talking over each other's heads, right? So
Right.
a good way to work yourself beyond that is if you want to have a serious conversation or sign a contract or anything, read the little text, the fine text, and be sure that when you communicate, did the person receive it in the way you intend your message to be, right? That's a way of working through that. And it's also many times technical things. And I think that was what happened to us today, right? But that's okay. It happens. We
we're
made it
here.
through. And full moons, the next one is actually going to be April 23rd. It can be, you come full circle with something. So the full moon, you're closing up a chapter, so you can release things, stepping into the new phase, so to speak. So that is wonderful too. And solar flares and flashes, which we had 26, same day as Mercury. What a smash hit on the same day, right?
Yeah.
Solar flash and flashes can represent spiritual awakening and inspiration also. We have the next one on April 18th. So we are still going to have a few ones, right? And
Yes.
if we just, sometimes, when I don't really know what to do, because it happens even to us, psychic or not, or spiritual or not, right? Take a
Correct.
step back instead of jumping with both feet into something and let the energies reveal themselves. That's going to be easier. We don't need to struggle.
That's the key, the struggling. Don't struggle. And it's not a matter of just giving up. Surrender does not mean give up. Surrender means allowing it to fulfill itself. And when you do, it's like if a leaf falls in the river. It's not going to try to go upstream. It's just going to allow itself to be carried. And then it may, come to another shore. It may be carrying that seed that needs to be planted there. So just moving with it.
Yeah. And I know this is Miss Bella from the UK, and she says, I wish I knew this before, as I always jump on it. It's a very human thing. Don't beat yourself up on it, right? Yeah, you're not the only one. I've been here too. And I have to say something else as well. When we catch ourselves doing something that we feel, why did I do that again? Don't take it in a negative way. Take it in a positive way, because you are aware. Otherwise, you wouldn't catch it, right?
Correct. And it takes thousands and thousands of what society calls mistakes before you get to the one that works. And that's okay. As an infant, we're constantly trying things. We'll climb things. We'll fall. We're learning new words. And at that stage, we don't have this negative consciousness saying, oh, you fell down. You're not doing that right. You should just, and being in that childlike space and going, oh, well, I learned not to do that. Or I learned I can do that this way instead of, oh, darn, I failed again. So again, I think I'm leading up to next week's show. So I'm not going to talk anymore about that.
Exactly. Guys, next week we're going to talk about perception versus perspective.
Exactly.
So that's an intriguing, in the spiritual arena, I don't think we're ever going to run out of topics.
Well, I'm just kind of getting used to this. So, I'm hoping that it's going to linger honor and honor. That means further and further.
Yes, it is. If anyone have a question, don't be shy if you want to. If I don't have any questions in the chat room here, I may actually just do a very short mini reading, past, present, and future for everyone, right? but we're
Oh,
coming to that. I'm just mentioning it. And don't hesitate to ask Corinne questions. She's a gold mine. I promise you, she's a gold mine. Okay, we have a question here. Why does Mercury upgrade affect things? As I always have problems. The reason why Mercury, because it's the energy of Mercury. Mercury is, how can I say, a warrior planet. That doesn't sound good, right? But it is. That says a whole lot about me. I'm kidding now, right?
yes.
Because I'm a Gemini and it's my planet also. But you know, we can think in the terms of, if we take the warrior energy, we can think in the terms of being persistent or being stubborn. I'm going to go there again, right? Trying to do something or manifest or make something happen. So it can actually be a good energy, but it does affect us in the sense that we have a hard time with communication, because that's also a communication planet, and with cars, fridges, computers, phones, technical things, you name it. It's a part of the energy, and there's not much we can do about it. We can try to fight it. And there comes a Gemini warrior, right? I used to do that many years ago, but I stopped when I realized that, hey, there's a polarity to this energy too. So how can I use this to my advantage? So we can't really have everything in our hands. We can try to prevent things. And that's what I do always. So I did actually restart my computer last night. It wasn't really very helpful because it has its own life, and it did try to do some things, but we are on here and we're happy with that. When it comes to other things that are in our power and in our hands, like when we are communicating things, it's a good thing not to pay too much attention maybe to details that people say, because they can say strange things during Mercury retrograde because of the energy. So it's kind of coming back to that warrior energy again. It can be like we are more sensitive. They say something and we get upset, but maybe they are clumsy at that time, or maybe they didn't think about how they are presenting what they are saying. So it's not always bad, right? But we have our response to it. That is our power, right? So
Yes.
that is the only thing we can do. Yes, Corinne.
Isn't Mercury also a messenger of our brings in messages, and also
Yes.
fast? I always have it pictured as he's moving, and when that happens, and when things are said that just kind of blurt out, and then they're misconceived by the other person, that's what causes the disruption. And this is a time, as you said before, to really be mindful and
Yeah.
take that moment to think about what you're going to say. And if a person's response is upset or something, take the time to ask, how did that sound to you? How did that make, why are we having this, rather than just walking away from it. So it does give us a time to grow in the art of communication. So
Yes. And on another note, if I'm triggered by something that someone says, because it's a very good energy to go within, reflection,
yes,
right?
yes,
I can have a look within and ask myself, why do I feel triggered about this? What's happening with me?
very much so. It's all about putting a new shine on the diamond that we already are. It, it,
Yes.
it takes a lot of chips, and look at, and then readjust, and then they chip a little more, and that's the process we're in now. We are being formed to be the best that we can be. We already are the greatest, but it's like this. This gives me a little bit of a sparkle today, and it makes me feel good. So that's, a little polish on there. And there's nothing wrong with rearranging things in your life. And this is all the process. And just hang on tight.
Yes, hang on tight.
Hang on tight.
So, what do you say, my beautiful soul sister? I found you. I'm so happy.
Yes, I am. I am enjoying this amazing energy that you keep pouring towards me, and the more that you fill me, I want to, let that move. There again, I'm going back to Celestine prophecy. You're giving, I'm receiving, I'm giving, you're receiving, and that just makes this an enormous place that is just flowing over to all these people that are willing to just go, whoa, I don't really understand it, but that feels good.
Yeah, it does. But it is energy. Everything is energy, like we've been talking the whole time about. But it's also that sharing moment. You can feel it. You radiate. You give me so much energy too. Sorry. I don't dare to touch the screen today, so I would mute myself. I don't dare doing that, so I'm going with the I'm thinking about actually doing a very short mini reading, very, very general, because I can't see any questions here, right?
Okay, well, I am all ears.
So, what is up right now? Just going to shuffle the cards here so everybody can see that I'm shuffling. Something wanted to fall out, and it's actually 3 cards. So we have renewal.
Renewal.
First.
Perfect.
We have 10 of air, talking about ending difficulties, coming into something new.
Again, perfect.
And 10 of earth. And actually, the 10 in this deck talks about closing up a circle, renewal, just as the first card says, right? So this means, for the general thing here, that, and basically it's like a confirmation for what we have been talking about, because we have been going through a lot of energies. We still have energies to come, but we are leaving something behind. And I think that, in my sense, as I'm being given this, that the solar eclipse was the icing on the cake kind of thing, like the cherry at the top, for a period, and then we immediately move into a new period. But it's absolutely beautiful. It's going to be something better, and the air and the earth talks about more practical things in life, but it's a good thing. It means that we're going to feel more stabilized, more grounded. Practical things like work, like finances, everyday life, everything we need to do. Okay. Hi, Wanda. Sorry. That's okay. Sending you energy, Wanda. Okay. And it's about us now, just going with the new energy and letting ourselves take advantage of the energies in the way that we can go with the flow, right? Following them, enjoying the time ahead. So I hope that resonated. That was very, very general for all of you.
Well, there are no coincidences, and for you to draw those cards, especially after what we've been talking about, it was just like a punctuating everything that we said. So that
it was, and that happens all the time. You could say it's just a deck of cards. It's just something that, but it always happens.
Yeah.
You get confirmation, to be honest with you. It's funny.
It really
That's how.
does. It's like that old saying, stop and read the signs. You know? They're everywhere. It's just that sometimes we're just going by in a blur and we forgot to read the signs. But we are given so many opportunities to really kind of get a handle on what's going on as we go around going, I don't know, and so. But
So I also want to ask, how can people find you? LQ.
lqenergy@yahoo.com. That will be the quickest way to contact me. And then my web page is already up there, and but I also have the phone is 480-250-1815, and I guess if it's coming from another country, there's a 1 in front of it. And
Yes.
but I'm pretty available. So I would love to hear from anybody that would like some information. And,
Yes, and everyone can find Corinne also in the group, right? Cosmic
yes,
Guardians on
yes.
Facebook. You can join the group and watch us live. Now we are 2. I manage. I got you. I'm so
Yeah,
happy.
that was very subtle. I was supposed to be assisting 2 times a week, and then you just slid that in that, oh, by the way, and I'm going, 17 is 7 days from now, and that in my estimation is a week. And I'm going, I think I just got moved to weekly, which I love.
It's up to you whenever you have time. That's perfect.
No, this is wonderful. I'm learning how to navigate through the technical glitches. So uh, this is wonderful.
It is wonderful. And next week again, Wednesday, April 17th. No glitches in the energy, right?
Yes,
But we are 1 day before Mercury retrograde stops. I'm just kidding.
yes,
So we will talk about perception versus perspective with me and Corinne, right?
yes.
And the group Cosmic Guardians, you can find us at facebook.com/groups/Cosmic Guardians. And yeah, we have the intention to be with you the same time every week. And it's absolutely wonderful. Yeah, you can't wait for next week's series. Yes.
No,
Uh,
it's wonderful, wonderful.
we did something today, actually. We can announce that too. We are streaming on YouTube as well, but because it's the first time and I want to see how it functions, and what Corinne says, how she feels about that too. So it's private at the moment, but it's easier so we can just publish that too. So we're going to try to be all over the place, right?
Well, the sun's got to shine. What can I say?
Is there anything more you want to say, Corinne?
Not at this moment. I am just thrilled that it was very informative. I really appreciate you because things that I haven't had time to really put a lot of uh, learning into, you've given me a whole new insight on how things move, and understanding a little better why about every 4 months. When I go to the store to use my credit card that I use at this particular store to buy, supplies and printing, it works sometime and it doesn't work other times. So now I know, don't go during that period of time.
Thank you. And I'm no expert when it comes to planets, to be honest. So the solar flashes and flares and eclipses, that's kind of new for me for this year. But there are sometimes, when we follow guidance, just as you say, I just listen, I watch, observe, and when things are coming to me, Usually they have to show it a few times before, otherwise I won't pay attention, right?
Yeah.
But they did, and I realized that it's very significant. And it's also about, maybe it's the time now for everybody to pay more attention to the energy, so we can understand, because it's natural. We don't need to step into fear. No doomsday predictions about it, right? It's something natural. We have it.
Well, we sort of made it through the 2000 year, didn't we? While
Yeah.
everybody was waiting for the world to end. So, it's, yeah. Now it's actually, we're in a period of time now where we are creating what is coming. That is why
Yes.
this is called the no time. That's why things ended at, in the 2000s, because now we are co-creating what is happening. And in many philosophies, the Mayans and Tibetans, they have nothing written after thousands and thousands of years of writing all these things, because we're in the period of no time, which is kind of exciting. And you
That's very exciting.
really got to be careful what you say.
Yes. So if we want something, we say, I'm never ever going to do that, right?
Well, that may be the new phrase. And because you get where you put the most energy. And a lot of times the negative energy is a stronger energy than our positive. And so learning how to bring that energy up, so you're in that space, that's all the learning curve that we're doing right now. So hang on, folks.
Yes.
It just keeps on going.
Yes. I should have a little bit more information coming up as a banner underneath our videos, but I don't dare to do too many things. And I wrote one thing because we had the Mercury with us. But anyway, so you feel comfortable wrapping it up?
I do, and I am so blessed to have reconnected with you. And I'm like a child at Christmas. I am enjoying this so much.
I enjoy it more. I know I do.
We could have that going on for about, I enjoy more, you enjoy more. We could do that for another 30 minutes, but
you know what I call that?
and what?
Love war. I love war. That's what.
Yes, yes. Well, so I shall be the older personality and say, shall we wrap it up?
Yes.
Call it a wrap.
Call it a wrap. So thank you everybody for joining us and watching Cosmic Guardians, and see you next week.
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, Corrine, sorry for spelling. Yeah, that's okay. Sorry. You remind me of my nan. I think that is Bella.
Uh-huh.
How beautiful. How beautiful.
Well, are we still producing now, or are we?
Yes, we are still producing.
We're still having our little chit chat, and it's getting a little personal here. Okay.
So we just wrap it up with love, light, peace, and joy, as I say.
And I say love, light, and laughter.
Yes.
So.
And we see you. That's yours.
Yes. Because when you say love is kind of a word that people throw around so much. I love my car, I love my keys, I love my house. But when you see the soul, that I see you, I am giving you the highest connection that I have. So
Thank you.
I see you, I love you, and I appreciate you.
Same to you and everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.